A warm hello and welcome. I'm Coach Ray, your go-to for narration and conversation on topics that keep you alive and well-ish. Follow me for practical tips, expert insight, and motivational stories that help you build a better life. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to discuss the power of storytelling. I'm really excited to share this article that I wrote titled, Why We Can't Resist a Good Story, the Neuroscience Behind Effective Leadership. This blog post is all about empowering leaders. And when I say leaders, I don't just mean those in formal roles like managers or executives. Leadership shows up everywhere in our families, our communities, our friendships, and even how we lead ourselves through life. I'll include the original blog post link below because there is a TED Talk in there that I think some of you might enjoy. But for now, let's jump right into this and explore the connection between storytelling and leadership. Attention leaders, if you want to master these skills, effective communication and persuasion, that's the ability to connect with clarity and conviction. Influence and impact, that's the ability to amplify your presence and drive results with your teams. Approachability and likability, that's the ability to build trust and foster a positive work environment. Then this story is for you. In the quaint town of Everwood, the old clock tower stopped ticking for the first time in a century. The town's mayor called for volunteers to solve the problem, and a small team of volunteers quickly assembled. Mrs. Habersham, the retired teacher with a knack for puzzles, Benny, a young mechanic, Jamal, an artist, and Sophia, a newcomer and software engineer. As they gathered at the tower, each of them began tackling the problem from a different angle. Benny climbed in to inspect the gears, Jamal sketched the mechanisms, and Sophia searched for any digital records or diagrams. After exhaustive efforts, they stumbled upon an old hidden compartment containing a rusted pendulum. The team worked together to restore it, each using their unique skills. With everything ready, Benny gave the pendulum a triumphant tap. The gears began to turn and the clock came back to life, its chimes echoing across Everwood. The town cheered, but as the team stood in the tower, something strange happened. The clock's hands began to spin wildly, faster and faster until they stopped, precisely at midnight. Suddenly, a secret door in the clock tower's floor creaked open, revealing a spiral staircase leading down underground. Mrs. Habersham gasped. This was never about fixing the clock, she marveled. It was about finding what's hidden below. As a leader, I've learned that my work is rarely about fixing problems. Hidden below the surface of every encounter, there is a diverse human experience, and the power of storytelling often surpasses data, strategy, and even mission statements in their influence. The most memorable leaders like Howard Schultz, the former Starbucks CEO, and Sheryl Sandberg, the former Facebook COO, are celebrated for their ability to draw from their personal experiences and craft stories that resonate deeply, connecting and inspiring people across generations. But what is it about a well-told story that makes it so compelling? The answer lies in the intricate workings of our brains. From the time we are children, stories capture our attention, stir our emotions, and shape our understanding of the world. This isn't just a cultural phenomenon, it's a neurological one. When we hear story, multiple areas of our brain light up, including those responsible for processing language, emotions, and sensory experiences. Unlike facts and figures, which engage only the language processing parts of our brain, stories create a multi-sensory experience that we can almost live through, making them far more engaging and memorable. One key player in this process is the neurotransmitter oxytocin, often dubbed as the love hormone. When we hear a story that resonates with us, our brain releases oxytocin, fostering feelings of trust and empathy. This is why stories can build connection between people, creating a sense of shared experience, even among those who might not know each other that well. Effective leadership is about more than just managing tasks and achieving goals. It's about inspiring and motivating people. This is where storytelling becomes invaluable. By framing ideas, challenges, and visions within a narrative, leaders can tap into their team's emotions and imaginations, making their message not just heard, but felt. Consider how storytelling can be used in different leadership scenarios. Communicating a vision. A leader who simply states a company's goals may not capture the hearts and minds of their team. But a leader who shares a story about why those goals matter, perhaps by illustrating how the company's work has impacted real people, can inspire a deeper commitment and a sense of purpose among employees. Navigating change. Change can be unsettling, even frightening. Leaders who use stories to explain why change is necessary, perhaps by recounting a time when the organization successfully adapted in the past, can ease fears and build resilience. These narratives can provide a roadmap for what's possible, showing that challenges are not just obstacles, but opportunities for growth, building culture. Company culture isn't just about policies and perks. It's about shared values and beliefs. Leaders who tell stories about the organization's history, its triumphs, and its challenges can reinforce these values, making them more than just words on a wall. These stories become part of the collective identity, giving employees a sense of belonging. Of course, not all stories are created equal. To be an effective storyteller, a leader needs to understand the elements that make a story resonate. Authenticity. People can sense when a story is contrived or insincere. Authentic stories, grounded in truth and personal experience, are far more powerful. Relatability. A good story should connect with the audience's own experience and emotions. When listeners can see themselves in the narrative, they're more likely to engage with it. Conflict and resolution. Every compelling story has a challenge or conflict that is ultimately resolved. These structures mirror the ups and downs of real life, making the story more relatable and memorable. Simplicity. The best stories are often simple. They focus on a clear message or lesson, avoiding unnecessary details that might dilute its impact. In a world where information is often overwhelming and attention spans are shrinking, storytelling remains a powerful way to cut through the noise. For leaders, it's a tool that can foster connection, drive engagement, and inspire action. By understanding the neuroscience behind why we're drawn to stories, leaders can harness this natural human tendency to create a lasting impact on their teams and organizations. So the next time you're faced with the challenge of leading your team, remember, sometimes the best way to move people forward is by telling them a story that brings them all together. You just listened to me read the story that I wrote titled, Why We Can't Resist a Good Story, the Neuroscience Behind Effective Leadership. Remember, leadership isn't just about the formal leadership in business. Leadership can show up anywhere in your life. I hope you were able to find something relevant and something that you can try in your own family, friends, or community groups. Remember, it's not about reaching a destination. It's about embracing the beautiful messiness of life and finding joy along the way. Take what you need, leave the rest, and until next time, stay well. Bonus story. Once upon a time, there was a couple who went to the local animal shelter to adopt a small black male kitten, but instead left with this 8-month-old white female cat. World, meet Lottie, aka Peeper, aka Monster. She's so cute though.